Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk about the latest episode of Supergirl, Season 6, the final season, Episode 2, titled A Few Good Women. This episode was interesting. It showed some stuff we didn't see before in the DC Universe, so that was good. The episode opens with the members of Team Supergirl tracking down a guy who's kind of like a vampire, except he's not. He's just an alien. His name is Silas, and he's from Transylvania, which is a planet. But Dreamer is featured prominently in this episode, and I just have to say, she's hot, not going to front. And that's all I'm going to say. But then we see a scene of Lex Luthor in jail, and Mrs. Luthor visits him, meaning she's not in jail. Like, why is Mrs. Luthor not in jail? I don't understand that. Not good. But we are soon treated to a scene that takes place in the Phantom Zone, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time an audience has ever been in the Phantom Zone. And I wrote down, who knew there were actual phantoms in there? I didn't know that. If that's been a thing, then I missed it, but I did not know that. And then Kara runs into her birth father, Mr. Zor-El, who I guess has been trapped in the Phantom Zone for like ever and a day. So now both of her parents are alive. Her mother on Argo City, or in Argo City on that asteroid or whatever it is, and her father in the Phantom Zone. So that was a cool development. But they still had Alex in that crazy super suit getup with the makeup and the weird hair. And she spends some time in her regular clothes in this episode, thankfully, because she looks so much better. I just don't get it. One thing I found myself thinking during this episode was, can we have Jimmy back? I don't really like the sister that much. I liked Jimmy. Jimmy's a classic character. I'd really like to have Jimmy back. I don't know why he's not on the show. It could be an actor thing, conflict, whatever, but it would be great if he could come back. Which is not to say that the sisters' chat with Silas wasn't nice. It was, but let's bring Jimmy back. Then, of course, Luthor's on trial, so Miss Tessmacher gets put on the stand. And I found myself feeling really bad for her because she obviously had a thing for Lex, which Lex did not return, or at least he pretended not to return it, and he kind of uses that against her in court and breaks her down, and I kind of felt bad for her, even though she was kind of helping him do evil things. I don't know. But then Mrs. Luthor goes to see Lena and asks her to take the stand and testify against Luthor, which she's not necessarily opposed to doing, but she doesn't really want to drag the Luthor name through the mud anymore, and Mrs. Luthor gives her static about that, and I was like, just smack her. Like, F her, just smack her, Lena. I would have loved to have seen that, but it did not occur. Then we get a scene where Brainy is trying to teach Dreamer how to use her powers a little better, and he comes up with a simulation for the Phantom Zone, and Dreamer remarks that it's kind of like the holodeck on Next Gen, which was pretty funny. And, you know, there was more stuff after that in the courtroom with Lex Luthor, and I wrote down, you know, I really like John Cryer as Luthor. I know I said this before, but he does a really good job in the character. Not everybody who's played the part can say that. Then we see where Team Supergirl has built some kind of gateway that they're trying to use to get into this Phantom Zone to retrieve Kara, or to allow Kara to come out, and it looks exactly like a Stargate. So I wrote down, apparently they've built a Stargate, which was kind of funny. They could have built anything, you know, for the production team. Could have built anything, but it looks exactly like a Stargate. And while this is going on, while they're getting ready to go save her or whatever, Alex is back in the stupid super suit and the stupid makeup, and it looks horrible. I actually tweeted to the actress, and I tweeted to the producers that they need to take it. It's so bad. They need to come up with something else. But Brainy's outfit was cool, so that's good. But then some phantoms come through, and there was a phantom fight, which was pretty gnarly and gave us something to sort of get nervous about in this episode. That was good. And Dreamer does a really good job in the fight. She's such a badass. I really like the Dreamer character. Another character I think they should bring back, by the way, is John's dad. I don't know why that random thought occurred to me during this episode, but that was an awesome character. I guess John brings him up, and he was an awesome character. So I wish they hadn't killed off his character. It would have been cool to have him still on the show. They got to figure out something and bring him back. But when the episode ended, Supergirl was still trapped in the Phantom Zone. The good thing is, it seems like she has a plan, working alongside her dad to try to get out by following the Phantoms, who I guess traverse, you know, back and forth from the Phantom Zone to the real world, because they deal with people in the Kryptonian prison or whatever it is. So they're going to try to go out that way. We'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully next week she will escape and hopefully bring her dad with her. Or on second thought, that would make him like another Superman, and they'd have to deal with that. So I suspect he's going to end up dying or choosing to stay behind or something. So or he'll get out and he'll go be with the mother. That would be interesting. Yeah, he'll probably do that now that I think of it. But we'll see. But that's it. I don't have anything else to say about this episode. It wasn't that fantastic, but there was some cool stuff in there. And of course, Supergirl will be back next week, as will I, with a review. Until then, I'm going to depart and say, as usual, peace and long life.